Good morning to Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans, literally all over this way. It's an international feel to this. This actually, it's always an international feel when, especially when brother Isaac is here, and of course Richard and everybody else, the crazy gang. But yeah, it's the latest segment of the Cannon project, and we've got we were hoping to have a newbie making their debut, but I've had to pull out last minute. But we've got a person who's hasn't featured on Cannon 42 for the longest time, but we're happy to have him back. And we've got two-thirds of the crazy gang back on here. But we get into this part of the Cannon project after this music intro. So here we are back again on the latest segment of the Cannon project. Before we get into one, guys, make sure that you do subscribe to Cannon 4 TV. I mean, you don't have to, but we would like you to be part of the community over here on our channel, not my channel, not yours, but it's ours to behold. Right, let's get down to the introduction. So I'm going to go first, straight off to this gentleman hasn't featured for quite a while on Cannon 4 TV, and his channel has recently celebrated the first year of content creation. So my brother from another mother, Glenwyn, how have you been?
I've been great, thanks, Alex. I've been well. Under the lot of circumstances that happen in Cape Town or South Africa, things seem to be bleak, but we're getting back into our economy, and things are happening up. But I'm good. I'm blessed, and I'm very, very grateful for this opportunity once again.
Thank you very much for that, brother. And we've got to Glenwyn's right, we've got Richard II. Richard, how are you?
Good, thanks, Alex. Not too bad. Just had occupational help on, so I'll go back to work in a couple of weeks. All good, so you're looking up.
Good. How's the family, Richard?
Yeah, they're good and healthy, so on the upside, everything's good.
Yeah, and that's the most important thing as well.
Yeah.
And another brother from another mother, brother Isaac, how are you, man?
I'm doing great, brother. Thank God for making it this far. Here we are, talking about Arsenal again. That is purely what you do.
You know what? I know we've got our own WhatsApp group, and opinions. You know, people are free to give their opinion, and we respect each other's opinions. But I've got to say to Richard, I know you posted a comment in the WhatsApp group about Tottenham having an easy running towards actually the business end of the season, and I completely disagree with you. I mean, why would you think Tottenham have an easier running?
Well, they have only one top six rival to play. We have four. United have three. I'm discounting West Ham because I think they were already out of that top four race. But United have us, Chelsea, and Liverpool. We have West Ham. We have Tottenham, and we have United and Chelsea to play. And that, as I said, Tottenham only have Liverpool. So on paper, those four games in that run of eight are tougher than Tottenham should be. The only game in that last eight you'd expect Tottenham to lose would be the Liverpool game, whereas we've got four games that can swing either way. The result's not guaranteed, and that's why I said they've got an easier running. On paper, yeah. In reality, it's different, but we all know that.
Glenn, when you want to say something.
Yeah. And look, I mean, Richard, nice meeting you, by the way.
Yeah, nice to meet you finally.
My tagline on my show, it's Guna matters, your opinion matters. Excuse the pun. But nonetheless, you say on paper, and you know what, on paper, that is fine. But you know what, the guys, the paper is not playing, is the players really, the names is on the paper and they're playing. So at the end of the day is, yes, Tottenham might have the lower position teams to play for amongst the challenges. However, I think their tails are up now. They might just win Liverpool for that matter, because at this stage their confidence can't be shot, because they look to be the better team to reach top four at this point. And yes, for an Arsenal fan to say that, it's heartbreaking. But the reality is they are a better team, and they might just be the front runners at this point for top four. So I hear what you're saying being on paper, but paper is not playing football. It's the players that's playing football.
Glenn, can I ask you a very quick question? So would you say Tottenham are dead cert to capture that last spot there in fourth place? Do you think they can do it?
Anything can happen, Alex, but at this point, the way they're going, I mean, they've scored 9 goals in what, two games.
Yeah.
So they've got goal scorers. They've got 3 particular players. One of them it's on 18-month loan, which is Kulusevski, and I think we were linked with him as well for the January window. And that player is a no-nonsense player. He will run at you, he will cross the ball, even score a goal if you have to. And all likelihood, they will probably end up 4th. I've predicted a 7th before the season started. And for the sake of being consistent, I still keep to that 7th spot. I was hoping with the form that we had that we would probably get a 4th. But to be true to my predictions, you know what, 7th still remains the same. And if they do get a 4th or a 5th, well done for proving me wrong. You know what I mean? But I think to answer your point, at this stage, they look the better team to reach 4th.
Brother Isaac.
Yeah, someone just decided to disappear with my sticky notes. That's what I've been looking for. You've been seeing me looking for something for that while. I've been looking. I've been looking for my notes. Wow. But guess what? Amongst the games I saw us struggling in, Brighton and Palace were amongst the list. I was looking for the list where I had analyzed the Tottenham games, and had foreseen us struggle against Brighton, Southampton, Chelsea, United, and Palace. And guess what? We've lost against 2 already. We struggled against Palace and against Brighton. I hoped for those 2 games at least a point each. Those will have been 2 points. But we ended losing 6. We've lost 6. I expected us to get at least 2. Now, from my prediction, we're -2. That is where we sit at the moment. Yes, as Richard said, on paper, Tottenham seem to be having an easy run. But who are Tottenham? Tottenham can disappoint you any day. They beat Man City today. Tomorrow they get hammered by Brighton. They beat a Man United today. Tomorrow they get hammered by Leeds. That is the kind of Tottenham you get. Tottenham only turn up when you do not turn up when you expect them to turn up. They let you down in games where they are termed as favorites. Yes, I had listed 2 games for them, which seemed tough games for them, one of which included Liverpool. That is amongst the list, and someone just escaped with my sticky notes. But hopefully I'll get the sticky notes, and perhaps I'll post them in the WhatsApp group. But Tottenham right now, if you look all over social media, if you hear what all other parties are saying, they are now the favorites, where we were like 4 weeks ago. 4 weeks ago, we were termed as favorites. But you look at it as we stand, we are no longer favorites. But who knows? Might give a shocker to a few individuals. We might might decide we must send Alex to the Antarctic. We send you there. But as things stand, and let's be honest with ourselves, as things stand, we are going to have a tough running. The fact that we've lost two of our best, and they are probably going to be out for the rest of the season. I see us struggling. Kieran Tierney, we're having Thomas Partey. I see us struggling to the end of the season, whereas Tottenham have goal scorers. Actually, I suffered watching the Brighton game, especially the first half. We made it too easy for them.
But Isaac, let me just stop you there a second. You know, forget about the Brighton game. Let's look at the Crystal Palace game, which came straight after the international break. Surely, you know, we know literally that the only team that can beat Arsenal is Arsenal. They are their own worst enemy. So after the international break, you would have thought Arsenal would have come out, pardon the pun, all guns blazing. There was no intensity, literally there's no formation. What happened to the players in the Crystal Palace game?
Yeah.
Do they not realise it was top four was up for the grabs?
Yeah.
And so I look at Mikel Arteta, I'm thinking, because I've been in managerial position, and it's my job to make sure all my staff, they understand their roles. Literally, you know, when I set them out into the world, they know what they have to do. They have to deliver. But I'm thinking Monday, Crystal Palace loss away from home. Saturday against Brighton at home, and we know the players are running short. We've got the youngest team in the Premier League, Yippee. They've not won anything. I'm sorry, I'm pointing my finger at Mikel Arteta because he's the manager. He's got to prepare the players, Isaac.
We looked disjointed, Alex. We looked like we didn't know what we were doing. We looked like we held up our hands the moment we walked out from the stands. It's like we had decided ourselves that we've lost this game because we've struggled playing against teams that have bullied us.
Yeah.
And Palace bullied us, really. We've struggled against Burnley. We've struggled against Brighton. We've struggled against Brentford. We've struggled against Palace simply because they bullied us. We've struggled against teams that come and bully us. We're slowly creeping back to the soft boys we've been. We don't have people who are bullies at Arsenal. We've let ourselves to the point that we are okay with being bullied. The moment we get a team that is ready to bully us, we lose that game, or the best we can get is a draw. And we've been bullied severally. I've suffered watching us being bullied. Wow.
Richard.
I don't want to seem like I'm ranting, but
you are.
I have suffered. I have suffered watching when we get bullied. What happened to the games like we played? I enjoyed us playing Villa. I enjoyed us playing Tottenham, the first legs.
City.
That intensity. I enjoyed us playing City. Actually, I didn't realize we lost to City 2-1 because I enjoyed the whole game.
Yeah.
Richard, what's going on?
Well, I mean, yeah, we let's be honest. In the Palace game and the Brighton game, the first half we lacked intensity and fluidity. Now, you can look at Arteta, but once the players cross the line, and as you said, send them out into the world, they have to deliver. Now, they are young and they're going to be inconsistent, but when we play with the intensity we played at Aston Villa and we played against Liverpool and City, we're a good team. We've got to get that back. Yes, we've lost a party, which that is a big loss in the middle of a park. Tierney, I think we can put players in there that will do a job. Maybe not as good as him, but can cover that position. We can move Suarez over and put White on the right and put Holding in to partner Gabriel. So you've got that option. Xhaka can do it. Saka can do it. So he's got options there to do it. I just think they need to produce that intensity. Arteta himself said he was fuming at the way they played. They played with fear. They played as if they were in the headlights. Ramsdale came out and said something similar, that the Brighton, after the Palace defeat, the Brighton game was the place for them to turn up, and they didn't. But even so, in those games, in the second half, we had chances in both sets of games, and our XG in both those games were better than Palace's and Brighton's. We finished the Brighton game with a 2.36 XG against Brighton's 0.6.
But the fact remains, Richard, we still
Saka should have scored.
What
I mean, he plays that over the bar, and then Nketiah hit the bar with the with his header from Odegaard's free kick that hit the bar, and maybe he should have scored that as well. And then you got Sanchez, who made that brilliant save from an Nketiah header as well.
But
so there were chances in that game to take all 3 points.
But we still lost, Richard.
Yeah, no, we're still losses, but you still had those chances. We were still creating those chances. A little bit of more consistency with our finishing. But again, it's a young team, and you are going to get those inconsistencies. It's disappointing as a fan, and it hurts. But they are young, and they will have games where they're off at the moment. But hopefully, come next season, they'll have learned, and in these types of games, this won't happen again.
Before I go to Glenwyn, Richard, and I'm going to always go back to the January transfer window. I'm always going to go back to that point there in time where we had the opportunity to beef up the squad. All this talk about Vlahovic, was our number one target. You had to have a plan B.
Yeah,
we knew the squad was
and they looked at Isaac, didn't they? But they weren't willing to pay 72 million for Isaac. Was that a right decision? I believe so, because Isaac isn't banging and he isn't being prolific this season. I think.
But neither are our strikers, Richard. Neither are our strikers, and we've lost Party.
Yeah, but do you want to pay 72 million in January for a player that might not cut it?
And that's it. Might not. We don't know, because we didn't beef up the squad.
That's a big gamble with 72 million when you know you're going into the summer, and you can go after a Nunez, you can go after a Jonathan David, or whoever your preferred choices are.
Yeah, but it's an even more gamble now. Literally, the fact that we've been laid there.
I do agree.
4 goals.
And Glenwyn was talking about Tottenham's strike force there. Now, I think Tottenham's January business, and Kuleveski's done all right, but I think what's transformed them is that Pablo Bentancur. He's come in and he's made them solid defensively. He's a Conte type midfielder. He sits there, he breaks up play, he can pass the ball, and he, for me, he's made the difference between Tottenham being flaky and solid.
Glenwyn.
Richard, I agree with you with Bentancur, and I think you would also see that their weakest link was Dyer, and Dyer obviously become more stable with that guy in front of them. Nonetheless, with Palace, you could probably argue the fact that yes, they come from a international break. They were playing a couple of games in a couple of days. However, they had a couple of days of training. So you can maybe put that to the reason why we lost. But then after that, we've got 5 or 4 days of practice and training and preparation for the Brighton game. You've lost Palace, so fine, focus then on Brighton, because now you've got more days to prepare. I feel that we never were in the game with the Palace game. We lost the ball too cheaply. I mean, Thomas Partey, I think, came in from a international break with a slight nick he had. Pardon me. And then, of course, he got injured in that game. Tierney were injured before the game even started. Think on international break. So I forgot about the Palace game. The game that really stuffed my mind up was the game of the weekend of Brighton, because they had more time to prepare. And like Ramsdale said, this was the game for them to turn up and change the fate that what happened in the derby on Monday night. And they didn't turn up. They turned up the last 5 minutes, in fact, in injury time, scored the goal in injury time. And why, for Pete's sake, does a right back take a free kick and corners where we have a Odegaard and a Martinelli and a Saka that can take a corner? We've got a captain that can probably put a bend around a wall to take a free kick. It is bizarre to see that the manager has given that responsibility to a flaky right back. He's done well while there, but he hasn't been the best of the part that he played. So I think I also take it down to Arteta. Alex, I've got a question after
Yeah, yeah.
I've gonna say what I say. I also put it down to Arteta being for Saturday's game, the fact that you put your best midfielder that we have for that game at left back. I mean, we can call it Xhaka has been inconsistent, but he's been consistently good with Partey. So you can't take him and put him in left back. That is Arteta's mistake. Play the youngster. If you don't want to play him, you've got Tommy on the bench. So put Tommy at his space and put Cedric on the left. Or play around with your formation that you've tried over the few seasons. So you can't put your best midfield. We lost the midfield because Zambi didn't do too bad, but he wasn't
Mm,
also the greatest. So you
mm.
can't put a junior in a midfield where he can get hammered with the Brighton's guys. I mean, they've got three good midfielders. And those guys ran like acres around him. So that is on Arteta. And for
But
changing the team,
mm,
it's not that the players. Yes, they have to turn up and do the job, but they listen to what the manager has said. Sorry, Alex.
Glenwyn, so again, I'm going to go back to the point about the fact that we didn't beef up the squad in the January transfer window. I mean, Tierney, he's going to get injured, isn't he?
Yeah,
Could they
definitely.
have not foreseen that was going to happen? Season before last, he suffered a knee injury,
Yeah,
and so we brought Tavares to be his backup.
yeah,
Okay, he didn't have the greatest of games, but you've got to continue with the backup left back.
sure.
That's one thing. The midfield, Thomas Partey. Could they not? Anyway, I just feel a little bit annoyed and frustrated the fact that we just let the January transfer window go by because we were just focusing on Vlahovic. What about the
Yeah,
midfield? The midfield, the midfield.
Yeah, I mean, I think the midfield, and I agree with Glenn when Shaka back into left back was on Arteta. That's where the first goal sort of came from. But it's hard if you think that Tavares has probably had his confidence shot. He had a poor game against Nottingham Forest and was hauled off at half time. Palace, he got hauled off because it was a tactical switch. And then
left out.
he's probably not shown enough in training. And he needs a little bit of time to get his head sorted and go again. I think even the change in formation, which I don't see Arteta doing, going to a
Yeah,
3-5 and losing one of your forward players and having Tavares and Suarez as right backs. I think that suits both of those players a lot better than that, a natural back four because they
yeah.
like to get forward more. But that's something that Arteta
Sorry.
and his coaching staff will have looked at and know have their opinions on. So
Isaac,
So
sorry, Glenn, you want to say something more before I
yeah,
go?
sorry. Just
Yeah.
to elaborate on being a manager. In business, you always look at your previous year, how to perform better in the current year. We've seen in the past seasons how we did with Xhaka playing there or even Suarez playing at right back. So clearly, and also what you said with the transfer window in January, clearly you should have known what happened the previous year. We struggled and we don't perform and we don't get a backup that we need for that positions. I mean, we all knew that we need a striker, we need midfielders, and that we didn't get. So there was guys like Gilmares that went to Newcastle. He was cheap. He was at the cheap, but he's a decent backup to have. You know what I mean? So again, Isaac wasn't the best, but he is decent backup. And I understand what you're saying. You're taking a fat chance with him in terms of a 72 million. But if you don't take the chance, you're not going to know where his ability lies in a new team under a new voice. And that is this basic. You need to have a new voice to understand what is expected of me.
So, Glenman, for you, has top 4 gone, Glenman, for you?
Well, for me, it was always 7th. So
Okay, yeah. You're all right, yeah. I can do my maths. Isaac.
Wow. Let me get my fellow Gunners who have the same feelings taking a deep breath and then exhale out gently, because it is a hard position to be in. You know, one thing that is about opinions are meant to change, and they affect feelings. At the beginning of the season, when we lost 3 games in a row, you were like, wow, we just want to get 10th. That was like the goal of everybody. That was the opinion back then. And then we were on a good run, and then we were, okay, we can do 6th. And then there was another good run, and then we were, okay, so we can fight for Champions League. And here comes another run where we've dropped to 5th. And then now we don't know what about the top 4. Opinions are meant to change, and everybody is entitled to his or her opinions. I respect each and everyone's opinions. And since football is a game full of emotions, I understand we can be emotional, given that we are the most fragile amongst the fan base. We can be very, very emotional. But we should know this is football. It changes at any time. You can get beaten today, and then you're on a good run. Yes, we did not have good business during the January window. And you know what, Alex? If I want to know we've lost a game, the moment we get out of the tunnel, I just look at Arteta and his assistant. The last 2 games, if you look at them before even the game starts, it's like they are, oh boy, let's hope we don't get hammered. Oh boy, let's hope we turn up. You just look at their body language. I looked at them before even the whistle went off during the Palace game, and I knew, wow, we are going to struggle in this game. And then I looked at them during the Brighton game, the same body language, and I knew, this game we are going to struggle. And if we look at them during the Southampton game, and it is the same body language, I'm going to call you and tell you, Alex, we've lost.
No, don't call me, man. I'm not going to answer.
I don't. Actually, I want the best for Arsenal, and I want to put this across. If you cannot support Arsenal when they are losing, you only support them when we are winning, you do not deserve to be a fan. You should support your team when you are losing and when you are winning, because we want the best for this team. We've been here, and the original grandfather said, we have this new generation of fans, and we have those who are legacy fans. I believe the legacy fans know best what it entails to support this team, because they've been here for long. They've been with Arsenal through ups and downs. Yes, I want us to have the best of the transfer windows come this summer. Yes, we have struggled, I envy other teams, the likes of Man City, the likes of Liverpool. I looked at Liverpool, and there is a player, Alex, we had mentioned earlier, before actually the transfer window closed. When we were there was a show you were having, and I mentioned Carvalho,
Mm.
that is from
Fulham.
Fulham.
Yeah.
We said we should be scouts for Arsenal, and look at Liverpool. They're already signing the player.
Yeah.
They are looking at the
Yeah.
future. They are not waiting until the 11th hour. They are signing for the future. Someone who's young, who will be comfortable to sit at the bench. They are not signing a high profile player who will come and give them trouble. They are signing a player they will be improving and who will be sitting at the bench and waiting for cup games or coming in as a substitute. That is what we should be doing. We should be doing the right business. So let's try and do some good business, because as Arsenal fans, we are not used to not winning for a long time, or we are not used to not being in the top four. That is why we are ranting as we are.
Yeah. But also when
Welcome
I look
to Team Rant.
at the rant-free zone, and also again, I understand that we've got the youngest team in the Premier League, but when you look at the inexperience, they've not been in this situation before, and much less having an inexperienced manager, it's a cocktail for disaster. Glenwood, is it not?
My question was, are you an Arteta out now?
I'll let you know at the end of the stream when we're off air.
he decided to hit you below the belt.
Sorry for putting you on the spot there. Yeah, no, look, I mean, I like what Arteta did, even being inexperienced. And, we all said in the past that for a type of club Arsenal is, you can't have a guy like inexperienced like he is to learn on the job. And I'm sure he surprised a lot of us how he sort of changed a few things in the club. Yes, he's maybe not the right guy to take Arsenal back to its glory days. Um, this I see as a stepping stone for Arsenal to let his project finish. Let him finish his project, because the process that he has started, it's well improved where we were 2 seasons ago when he started at Arsenal. So he has changed and improved quite a bit in the team. So I think he should finish his project, and I mean, it's pointless changing anybody now. And if the owners want to change in the summer, which I doubt they will, I think they're going to let him see out his contract at least. And I think he can change things to the better because of what we have seen over the last season. We were in the slumps. He started well, but then he went down. We ended up 8th on both seasons. Down there. Thank you. Sorry. And now we've improved quite a bit. So he's not the ultimate a person for the team or for the club, but he's building something that the club obviously can rely on. And somebody's coming in that might come in and change that, might just succeed in changing it for the better, or fail like we've seen. Una Emre hasn't got the time for it, but he failed actually.
So are you
As
Arteta in
Glenn
or
has said,
Arteta out,
Alex.
Glenwood?
No, I'm not Arteta out. I like. You know what? I wasn't Una Emre out either. Whoever manages the team need to have the club's well-being at heart. And so far, you can see it. Arteta loves what he does at Arsenal, even though he's still learning and even though he's making mistakes. But he does it because he has Arsenal on his sleeve, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Isaac, you want to say something before I go into the live chat?
Yeah, as I was saying, we do not need to be changing managers here and there or dishing them in and out. Will we regret letting Unai go? Probably yes, because he's already won Europa League since he left. And look at where they are in Champions League. First leg they won against Bayern. Can they beat Bayern second leg? Probably yes, because Bayern are also fragile defensively. If they exploit that, they can win. Can they win Champions League? Probably yes. If they beat Bayern and win Champions League, will we regret letting him go? Probably yes. What if we let Arteta go and he goes and wins Europa and then next wins Champions League? Will we regret? Probably yes. So let's give him a little bit of more time and back him up. As we give him time, let's back him up in the transfer window. You know, you cannot give someone time and then tie his hands. That is, he's doomed for failure if you give him time and tie his hands. I like, you looked at what Chelsea did with Lampard. They gave him time and gave him an open checkbook. He failed himself. Give Arteta time and give him an open checkbook and see what he does. If he crumbles with an open checkbook, then well, I'll be there to say Arteta out.
Yeah, but Isaac, I mean, the majority of these players now at Arsenal are his players. He's chosen these players.
He's chosen his players, but he needed another midfielder. He needs He needs actually two strikers. Give him those two strikers. If he says we want this guy from Lille, if he says he wants that, give him that. If he says he also wants this other guy from Benfica, give him that. Give him the two if he wants that. If he says he wants another midfielder, give him that. If he says he wants another backup or fullback or centre back, give him that. If he crumbles with that, then who is to blame? It is purely on him. But if you don't give him that, if he walks out that door, he has a leverage. He can say, I asked for two strikers, they didn't give me. I asked for a midfielder, they did not give me that. Give him that open checkbook and give him time.
Okay. Richard, do you want to say anything before I go into the live chat?
Yeah, I still think we've got a chance of top four. We're outsiders, but that's reality. Again, we need to see what Arteta does and Edu do in the summer, and what backing, what money is made available to them. I think we need at least 200 million, and that's to get your main striker and a winger in, get a backup right back, and then maybe fill the gaps in the squad that are still obvious missing, because we've only got, when fully fit, a 15. We need, going into next season, at least an 18 to 20 players. And Arteta himself says he wants a squad of 22 outfield players and 3 goalkeepers. So and what he wants is that squad of 22 all to be like City's first team players, so that you won't notice the difference in quality when you swap them out. And that's where our problems lie at the moment. Once you take your first 11 away, the dip in quality is a noticeable dip.
Before we go to actually, Glenn, quick question to you: would you drop Lacazette at this moment?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not doing anything. He's not affecting change at this point.
Okay, let's go into live chat for the first time on this Canon project. Ashley D, our moderator for the evening, says, "Hey up, Gooners, and welcome to Canon 40 TV and the Crazy Gang." That's just Isaac. Isaac's the crazy gang.
And he's trying to John
Robert, good evening. Says, look, as an Arsenal fan, you want to remain positive. Hove, yes. Hove in Essex, isn't it? No, that's Brighton, isn't it? Big up Alex and the panel. Says that's Spursy. Oh, dear me. We got Paul in the North Bank. Good evening to you, Paul. Says Tottenham have is a complete squad, which includes a prolific scorer and a wide attacker who also finds the net. Both will certainly get 15 goals each, the bare minimum. The bare minimum.
Actually, Alex, if Tottenham lost Harry Kane today to an injury, and I'm not praying that he gets an injury, they will struggle because he seems to be the center of influence of everything. He's like pinging the long balls. He drops back to pick the balls, and he's straight away switching it to Son. If they lost Harry Kane today to an injury, they will have the same struggles as we have.
Okay. John the Geezer Gooner says, I'm not making any more predictions, no way, but still hoping for the top 4. Well, that's a prediction, isn't it? We didn't lose the last 2 games because of injuries. I'm not hearing that. Okay. Why did we lose the last 2 games then, Richard?
Well, we lost it because we had no intensity and that composure and fluidity. That's a reality. We were outrun by Crystal Palace in the first half. We didn't show any intensity and played the game that Brighton wanted to play at Brighton. And by the time we decided to increase the intensity, the game was gone.
Too late.
Yeah. Downed tools fell up. That's unsustainable, unassured football. Am I feeling the players are probably down in tools, Glenwyn? Have they down tools?
No, I don't think that. It's just they need more assurance from their manager at this stage. I mean, you mentioned it earlier on. Smith Rowe was asking, "What do you want me to do?" That sort of thing. So I don't think they're down tools. I just think they need more assurance and more direct instructions. Tell me to play number 10, I will play number 10. Tell me to play a 6, I will play a 6. Or whatever you want me to do, I will do that. And I think that was lacking in the last 2 games.
You're a manager, aren't you? In your line of work,
in business, yes, I am now.
Yeah. Could you imagine if your manager was over you, looking at everything that you do, even though they've told you, Glenwyn, these are your tasks I want you to do throughout the financial year or for the week or for the month. So could you imagine if he's giving you or they've given you the instruction, but yet they're still stood over you?
Yeah.
And that's what I would with Arteta micromanaging. If you have to prepare the players, just give them that. Let them do the duty.
And you know what? Ramsdale, he said it in his interview or post on over the weekend after the game. He said, "Let us be free and enjoy the game." And I mean, emphasis lying on free. Let be free. I mean, they are good footballers and they can play well if they are free. If Odegaard has got free reign, he will run around everybody in that midfield. So let them be free and let them go.
Let me ask a question on that. Did we play beautiful football against City simply because Arteta was out?
You're evil, eh? You are evil, Isaac.
Will we have been hammered 5 like first leg we played City and he was around?
I'm not going to answer that question.
The crazy gun comes.
Let me go to the next comment. John says, in the North Bank, Spurs brought in January. Arsenal failed to add to the squad. We will know. We will now
suffer.
We will now suffer.
Probably now suffer.
Now suffer. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be now suffer.
The base of the team hasn't really changed for them. And Colour Kings, good evening, says, forget the top 4. Arteta is a reserve coach. What is his track record? Anything? Grandpa can dribble it. Goes All right, let's go to
like his pattern of his hair. Yeah.
Deary me. We'll leave that one. We can't rely too much on the youth as they'll be inconsistent. I think, Richard, you did say it, didn't you? Was it you, Richard?
Yeah, they will be inconsistent, but come you'll bear the fruits in maybe not next season, but the season after. Once they've got that experience and once they've grown, so you're going to have to suffer a little bit until that happens. But are there any of those January signings that you can say you're really unhappy with? I mean, personally, apart from Tavares, who's had a couple of games, but he's only had a couple of bad games. I'd say most of those players we bought in the summer, I'm very happy with.
Yeah, but they're no use to us if they're injured. Tommy Asher,
Yeah.
we've missed Tommy Asher. We
Yes,
really have
yes.
missed
He actually was in attendance.
Yeah, but
Was in attendance during the Brighton
The
game.
Brighton game. That's what I said. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you had Tommy Asher, you could have stuck him on the right, and you could have had Suarez on the left, or you could have put
Correct.
Tommy Asher on the
Either
left
or,
and had
yeah.
Suarez on the right. So
Yeah.
it is a miss, but he's come into from an Italian league, which the intensity isn't as high, into a league where you've got high intensity. We're playing, as I said, more games in the season now. And you're getting more. I don't necessarily mean Arsenal fixtures, but once you start putting those friendlies, which I think are what's the use of some of those friendlies? Why are you going to play things like San Marino in a friendly when there's no need or things like that? I can understand international bits and pieces, but they've added so many friendlies now just to get a bit of catch, and no one's looking after the player welfare.
Yeah. We said it before, haven't we?
Yeah.
We've got another one here from NKE. Oh, no, sorry, not that one. Where is it? Oh, he's disappeared. He's gone. Isaac, what happens now with Tavares?
Well, Tavares is young. I guess he's 20 now, if I'm not wrong. We bought him while he was 19, so he's a young lad. He's probably the same age with this guy we sent to Marseille, Saliba. It's probably the same age as Saliba. His confidence is low at the moment. I believe that. When he came
22
in,
years old. Sorry.
He's 22.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. He could be Navi at the moment, and I understand his confidence is low. Being brought off at during the first half, and then there was a tactical switch. He was brought off, and then he was left on the bench. As a player, your confidence could be knocked down, but he needs to hold his head high and work hard during the practices. Or he should hold his head up high and work hard. He will come back. Come back.
You can gain an attacking player with 3 at the back, depending on the mindset of the coach in charge, Glenwyn.
We've played 3 at the back before with under Arteta, and I think we didn't do too bad in the past. But still, like the guy said, your mindset has to be right. We're all footballers, and I mean, when you grow up, I mean, I played football growing up. And I've played in all the positions. I've played goalkeeper, I've played left back, right back, centre back, I've played centre mid, I've played striker, my last position, and I've played wing. So it's all about your mindset. You know what to do as a footballer in that position. So if you are three at the back, and we've got a wing back, so the attacking mindset has always been there because, I mean, our players are attack minded. Our right backs, our wing backs, all our players are attack minded. Even our centre backs. I like when White go past a guy and maybe give a long ball. Don't do it all the time, but I mean that is an attack minded position. So it's all about the mindset. How you're going to attack it, when you're going to attack it. So your decision making has to be on par at specific time in the game. So you need to be concentrated all the time.
On Emerson Fro, your favorite player, and Odegaard.
My favorite player.
Yeah.
My favorite
Are they
player.
similar? Odegaard and Smith Rowe?
No, not at all. I think each one of them has got 2 different style of plays. Odegaard is more of your safe hands player, whereas Smith Rowe, he will take it on. He's forward thinking and he will take anything coming forwards. First touches, he will do a first touch pass and that sort of thing. So that makes him more dynamic going forward.
Okay. There's a question for you, Richard, and it comes from the Assembled. Good evening to you, Assembled. Question, Richard. Would it be fair to say when Brighton were encouraged to go for the game, when the lineups came out, I believe this defeat was a manager error, but any interview with him, he blames the players?
I don't know if Brighton would have been encouraged by that lineup. I think that they were encouraged within the first 5-10 minutes by the way we started and the way we played. And we didn't start playing until about the 35th minute when we were behind, and then again it was the error of not tracking back Cucurella. Saka allowing Cucurella to get behind him. That's not a coaching thing. That's a player just switching off for a moment, and you can't account for a player switching off for a few seconds. But yeah, I think Brighton got their encouragement from the way we started the game, and that first 5-10 minutes where we weren't, we had no intensity, we weren't pressing, and then we gifted them 2 goals, and that pretty much summed up with the same with the Palace game. We gifted them 2 goals, and then on the third goal was from a counter attack, which we give away a penalty. But that was always going to happen when you're 2-0 down and chasing a game.
Did you know since Conte was appointed at Spurs in November, Spurs, who were in turmoil, have scored as many goals as Arsenal have for the entire season, Isaac? Oh, you're on mute. We can't hear you.
You're on mute.
Can't hear you. Well, whilst Isaac sorting out his audio, maybe his mic, we've got Ty Gunnosaurus who says, "Good afternoon, top blokes. Great insight. Thank you for that."
Yes,
Thank you.
Arsenal should be challenging, mixing it up with Chelsea, Liverpool, and Man City. We're not at that level just yet. We're not at that level just yet.
Nowhere anywhere near yet. No.
Yeah, I hear you. Oh, so actually, let me get Isaac back in, and he can respond to this one as well. Isaac, can you hear us? Mic's still not working. You might have to reboot your phone. Because yeah. I hear you, Isaac. However, I have been following this squad for over 45 years, so not long then. We need a cup. We all agree that Arsenal need a championship. A championship?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean we've won the FA Cup under Arteta. The next step is now either get back into European football, preferably Champions League, and then kick on, and then next season or the season after you're looking at challenging
I don't agree.
for the Premiership.
Sorry, Richard. Sorry, I don't agree with that. I think from a point of view where we stand, we will be annihilated in the Champions League if we should go there now. We should start in Europe, right enough. But I think starting from a Europa point of view, it's probably less stress on us as a team, and then from there we can sort of see if we've waxed the Europa League, maybe we can look at going into the Champions League that way. But going into the Champions League for a young team like we have, and maybe depending on the business we're going to do in the summer, I don't think we are ready for the Champions League. We might have to get into the Europa League first.
I agree. We're not ready for it, but if we earn that right, then that's what we earn, and that's where we are. It's just we see where we are at the end of the season and go from there. But
Isaac.
it's that.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah.
We can hear you. We can hear you. Yeah.
As Glenwin said, I don't think we are ready for the Champions League right now.
Yeah.
I don't want us to go into Champions League and get hammered 7-8, 5-0. Let's go to Europa League and slowly establish ourselves from there. If we can get into Europa League, good and well, so that we can establish and build the squad, so that when we go into Champions League, we know we are not going to bring shame to England.
No.
Would it be failure then if we didn't get top 4, but we finish in the Europa spots?
It's not what we've planned for. It's not failure.
It's not failure. Actually, we were overachieving.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, if we get down to the last 4 games and we're still in a shout with Champions League and we end up in Europa League, that's a good season. Because at the start of the season, before we bought anyone, if you looked at the teams, you just said Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, and Man United were top 4, and then it was a case of whoever else in the Europa Leagues fighting for Europa League with us. Tottenham, West Ham, Wolves, and we were above those teams at the apart from Tottenham at the moment. So, and we've done well. It's just we've just had a couple of blips here and there.
Yeah. We've got a second moderator, Gary DWTT says hello, Alex, Isaac, and Richard.
Hello, Gary.
Hi, Gary.
The crazy one. Sorry, the crazy gang. Sorry. Hello, chat room. Mikey Cartel, good evening. Says if he's starting Nketiah before. Oh, that was something else I wanted to talk about as well. Before our most expensive signing, that's criminal decision he's making. I know we've spoken about Nketiah, but I want to ask Glenwin about the situation with Eddie Nketiah. He's turned down, as I understand, 3 contracts for Arsenal, and yet he still gets game time before Nicolas Pepe. Is it not strange to you?
His personality as a football player, same. You can argue the same for Pepe. However, you probably would get more out of Nketiah than Pepe, because Pepe has been inconsistent over the last few seasons, whereas Nketiah has been consistently not scoring, but he's been consistent. So I think the work rate that he has as Nketiah overpowers the work rate of Pepe, because he can do much more on the ball than Pepe would want to do, because Pepe is not the person that we all thought he could be, and he's got the potential to drive past any defender, whereas Nketiah does it. He's just doing it. He doesn't think about it, just do it. Whether he loses the ball, but he's tried it. Where Pepe will come, he will go back, and he will then pass the ball back to Tommy or whoever is behind him. So, for the fact that he's turned away 3 contract renewals, obviously tells you a lot that he is finished with Arsenal.
Yeah.
And I think Arsenal is playing him more for the fact of getting a good buck for him, giving him that minutes to say that this guy can still give me some money. Although, no, in fact, he's end his season. No, sorry, he won't get any money for him. Yeah, he won't get any money for him. Just realize that now.
Yeah.
But I think he would be a good asset for any other team but Arsenal, and I think he has to go. But the fact that for the time that he's there now, he can still affect a bit of change above Pepe.
Okay, Isaac, here's one for you from the Assemblies. Isaac, if Arteta wins the Champions League, I'd never watch football again.
Wow.
Oh, that is.
The Assemble might have to chew his words come someday, because actually Arteta might win it. He won the FA with a back 3, as we were saying. Won the FA Cup with a back 3. Right now, you strengthen his team, and you have this young team together for the next 2, 3, 4 years, and he wins the Champions League, of course, which we haven't won. Even Aston Villa have won the Champions League, and we haven't. Wow, the assemble might have to go and rethink about what he said.
Yeah, but I think, like Glenwyn says, I think what he's trying to create here, he probably might not be the guy to actually see the fruition of what he started here at Arsenal. I mean, he's got maybe, is it a year and 6 months left on his contract, Arteta?
It's got end of 23. Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, I mean, we'll have to see what happens in the summer. But at the end, what we have to say is that he's improved the squad. He's brought a better mentality back. Yes, there have been certain games we've lost, but there have been a lot of games that we have won where under Emery and under Wenger we have lost in the past. That Villa away, Palace 2-1 down. We equalised in the last minute. We would have lost those games under Emery and Wenger, and he's given us a bit of steel back, a bit of mentality back. It's not there completely yet, but he's getting there, and he has shown there are signs of progress. It's not maybe what we all want. We all want to be back in the Champions League, winning the Premier League, but we've got to be realistic. The state of the squad when Wenger left was so poor that it was going to take time to get it back to his heyday.
Yeah.
And that's where we're trying to get back to.
Right, I've just leapfrogged over a whole load of comments, and I'll leave this last comment from DWTT for Glenwyn, who says, Nketiah consistently doesn't score.
I saw that one.
Yeah.
Everyone's all that one coming.
Oh, Gary, you're putting on the spot there, bro. You know what? I probably put my foot in it, but yeah, you're right. You're right. I would want to see some goals. But I think Pepe needs to be more confident getting into that position. I mean, he had a brilliant cameo when he came on against, what was it, Aston Villa or somebody there? I think Wolves. Wolves. Sorry, and he had a brilliant cameo there. And why not bringing that back? I mean, he would have started a couple of games thereafter if he was consistent. He will give you a goal here and there, and I think. I'm gonna put my foot in it more. So.
All right.
Thanks, Gary. Thank you.
You can send a message in the WhatsApp group. We have come to an end on this latest segment of the Cannon Project. Yes. Next game up is Southampton. I haven't actually asked the guys their predictions because I'm tired of giving predictions, and I don't want to give a prediction that upset people. But anyway, we're finished. I want to say a big thank you to Richard II. Richard, thank you very much for coming back on Cannon Project TV.
Thank you, Alex, for having me.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. And to the crazy one, Brother Isaac.
Yeah. Always Arsenal, despite the fact sometimes it gives me heartbreaks.
Yeah.
Last but not least, to Glenwyn. Glenwyn, it's good to see you back on the platform again. And like I say, he's just celebrated 1 year of content creation on his channel. Guna Matters, that's right, isn't it, Glenwyn?
Correct. Yeah. Thank you, Alex, for this opportunity. Thank you, man.
Yeah. So what I'll do, I'll leave the link for Glenwyn's YouTube channel link in the description box. But I will be back tomorrow morning. Give me some more live news where we talk about Arsenal again, or maybe something. We'll talk about Arsenal. I'm not going to talk about them down the road. But thank you again, guys, for tuning in. I saw the numbers were quite high for a Monday. Yeah, Cannon Project. Oh my goodness. Quickly become the latest and probably the biggest live segment on the channel. But anyway, guys, that's it. We'll see you next week, Monday, for another segment of the Cannon Project. And to all my guests, my moderators, and the viewers, You've been listening to and watching Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans